Each programming language has the same basic parts in their main function. This includes comments, variables and variable names, equations, console input and output, decisions, loops, classes and objects, file input and output, and more. I think the easiest way to learn about the syntax of C++ is to walk through a program. Here's a basic program that calculates travel costs. By asking the user to enter the information, the program can be reused many times to calculate the cost of various trips without rewriting the code. If we start at the top of the program, you'll notice there is a multi-line comment. This is indicated with a slash asterisk, and an asterisk slash ends the comment. In this multi-line comment, we have the name of the program, travelcost.cpp, the date the program was created, in our case, May 20th, 2014, and the author's name, in this case, Peggy Fisher. Next, we have some lines beginning with a hash sign or a pound sign. These are considered directives that are read and interpreted by what is known as the preprocessor. These directives are used to provide access to code that's already been written and tested. Most of the directives provide access to commonly used functionality, such as reading and writing from a console window, which is what the I/O stream is for, reading and writing from a file, or using some common math functions such as square root, power, sine, and cosine. Below the two directives, we have a statement that says, using namespace std. During this course, we will always use the namespace std or standard. It allows us access to some standard functions that we will commonly use. Now, the main part of our program, hence its name, main. It has a data type in front of it, int, which is integer. When you see the word int in front of a function name like main, that is the value that gets returned from the calling program. So int main, open and close parentheses. This is the default starting point for any C++ program. The compiler automatically looks for the main function to begin the program. If it can't find a main function, then the program cannot run and it will not compile. Right below the int main, you'll notice there's an open curly bracket. On line 10, curly brackets in programming enclose a block of code. In this case, it encloses the statements that are included in the main function. Don't worry if this is still very confusing. We'll be spending more time on each line of code as we work through the course. Inside the main method, each statement is executed sequentially, so the first step defines our variables. We have a comment that says // variables. This is a single line comment as opposed to the top where we had a multi-line comment. Our variables in this case are given a data type of double. Double is a data type that includes a decimal point. The variables that we need are mpg, distance, gallons, price per gallon, and total cost. Below the declaration of the variables, we have another comment that says output using the insertion operator. That is the less than symbol. We have a statement that says cout, less than, double quotes, and there's a string that says enter mpg. Double quotes, then the insertion operator, and end L. This statement actually sends a message to the console so the user knows what value we're looking for, in this case the miles per gallon. When the user puts in the miles per gallon, we'll read that value in using the extraction operator, and you can see the statement here in line 18, cin, greater than mpg. Cout writes to the console, cin reads from the console. We have two more sets of statements that allow us to ask the user for information and read it back in again. Enter distance in miles. The user's going to enter the distance. Enter the price for 1 gallon of gas, and we're going to read that into price per gallon. Now we have all the information we need. The first step is to calculate the gallons of gas that we're going to need for the trip. We use the equation gallons is equal to distance divided by mpg. Then we calculate the total cost. The total cost is equal to the gallons that we created above times the price for 1 gallon of gas. I want you to notice that in each case, our expression, we have the variable that's going to hold the result on the left-hand side of the equation. Gallons equals distance divided by MPG. Total cost equals gallons times price per gallon. This is really important in programming. Your expression has to be on the right and your variable has to be on the left. The last statement says Cout total trip cost, and it's going to print out the variable total cost. But what are these two things here, this fixed and set precision? These are ways to format the output. This is going to format the output so it always gives us a fixed number of decimal points, and in our case, we're setting the precision to 2. So if it's $1.50, it won't print out 1.5, it'll actually print out 1.50. The very last statement, return 0, ends the program and returns this value 0 to indicate the program completed successfully. Let's try and run our program and type in a few examples. First, I have to build it. It looks like everything built okay. I didn't have any compile errors, so now I can run it. The first question is, how many miles per gallon do I get? Well, I have an old Ford Explorer, so I'm going to say 15 miles to the gallon. The distance that I'm going to be traveling, let's say we're taking a pretty long trip. Let's go for 350 miles. And it wants to know the price for 1 gallon of gas. Well, a gallon of gas today is pretty expensive, so let's put in 4.89. Now, when I hit enter, the program goes ahead and calculates the total trip cost and tells me that it's going to be $114.10 to go 350 miles with that gas price and that miles per gallon. We can run it again and change the values. This time, I've upgraded my car to something that's a hybrid, and now I get a better gas mileage. So I'm going to enter 65 miles per gallon, hit enter. The total distance will still be 350 miles, and the price will still be the same. But let's see how much money we can save with a more fuel-efficient car. Wow, the total trip cost now is only $26.33. So that's our first program, the travel cost. As you can see, you could run it many times and enter in different values for the miles per gallon, the price, and the distance to be able to figure out the total cost for your trip.